Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I wanted to talk about moon quincunx or inconjunct to moon in synastry. So the quincunx or inconjunct aspect is this very awkward angle where we actually have less in common than even the opposition or even the square aspect, I find. And it's often overlooked, but it really shows up as like a vague feeling of uncertainty or even anxiety. And in synastry, it can definitely produce feelings of discomfort or attraction also, but this real sense, especially with this particular quincunx here of moon to moon, that the type of life that we really desire or what we need to feel emotionally secure, what really is like our sanctuary of home, like moon can represent our home life, what we need to feel emotionally secure in the home. When we have moon's quincunx in synastry, there's this feeling that those things are not going to be in alignment. Now, there can definitely be curiosity here. There can be kind of a fascination. The inconjunct aspect can have like it's sixth house or like an eighth house connotation. So there can be kind of a fascination or intrigue with each other and like how that moon sign operates and like, wow, that's kind of interesting or that's different or that's it can even feel kind of like alien, like, oh, okay, like that might be interesting. So there can definitely be attraction here with this quincunx. And I mean, it's not really going to be this aspect though that's going to show if people are attracted or not. That's more going to be shown by other aspects in synastry. But if this one shows up, it shows that there is an incompatibility emotionally, and also what we really need to feel fulfilled and emotionally happy is very different. And so you can really get the vibe that this person seeks a life or lives a life, actually. Like you could even like think about the way that they live like at home. Like there's something very basic about the primal like emotional needs and how this person like lives in the day to day. Like the moon is also how we live together, right? So there's this sense that like that is very different. Usually right off the bat we get this sense that like, yeah, we're intrigued, but yet we don't know how this will bring us fulfillment or bring us what we want. Now, you could have other things going on in synastry that are going to mitigate this. Like if the moon of one person or both people are conjunct to something else, like and or trying to something else, and there is emotional harmony, this could definitely lessen this, and this can be a more minor thing. Um, but still, there is this sense that yeah, we're seeking different things. We react emotionally in kind of a foreign way. Now, some signs and inconjunctions are more similar. Fire and water are actually more similar than like earth and fire in an inconjunction. So, because of the emotional kind of energy, of course, fire operates differently, but it's still an emotional energy. So, like, you have to look at that too. But overall, like, this isn't as difficult, I'd say, as the square. Like, this can be more minor. This can be kind of a curiosity thing too, where we're like, having this intrigue, wanting to check out this weird alien emotional being. But I do think over time it can make, either partner feel like they have to give up something that they truly need to feel comfort and security and safety in order to appease the other person or keep the relationship. And living together can be challenging with this quincunx. Harsh moon aspects in synastry can show that like if you are going to live together, there can be problems and differences in how we handle that. Now, if someone's like sun is conjunct to moon here, then that could really lessen this, right? So you have to look at everything. But um this one can show awkwardness in yeah, the home life. Also, the moon is like how we nurture or receive nurturing. So we can have differences in like parenting, or like if we have kids together, like there's differences in how we nurture them, but also our own inner child can feel um, not nurtured in this relationship, or not understood when we have moons quincunx here. So it can actually be like kind of like lonely in a relationship. Like you're in a relationship, but you feel alone. You feel not seen. You feel like your needs aren't important because, and it's not so much like that the other person is like against what you need. Like it's not like a square where we're like constantly butting heads and saying, no, you're wrong. It's more just like this underlying feeling of like just difference. Like they just don't get it. They're the inconjunct signs, they just don't get each other. It's like, what are you doing? Like, and it's beyond words. It's like, so it can be hard to articulate what is actually wrong here, but knowing synastry can really help. um, so yeah, I mean, it's not like the worst aspect you could ever see, but it does present some challenges. And like in a really good synastry, like with really strong compatible aspects, this can be a more minor thing where we're just kind of annoying to each other sometimes, or we just have some different needs emotionally or around the home, right? Or different upbringings, it can show too. um, but if it's, if there's a lot of other harsh squares and things going on in the synastry, and then we have this, like, you might even with this, like, because the moon is such a personal part of us, like if the moon is not favorably aspected in synastry, like you're not going to feel emotionally supported in the relationship. So this aspect could actually make two people just walk away and be like, this is never going to work. Like there's just no compatibility. That it can feel like that. And then also it's like not really done with hard feelings. It's just like it reminds me of this meme that I've seen. I forget exactly what it said, but it was just like an agreement on mutually incompatible vibes. And that's kind of what we can end up having here, is just like we agree that we just have incompatible vibes as far as our moon sign goes. And that might be a big deal if the rest of the synastry doesn't show emotional support or warmth or enjoyment of life together. Then this can be, yeah, pretty tricky. We could also see that being around this person causes us to go into inner child wounding and needing to kind of tend to our own inner child, because like I said, it can make someone feel not understood and not supported. But then different than the square, it's like we internalize it and we're just like, oh, and then there's like this uncertainty or like this bad feeling about ourselves that we have with this person. So in that way, it can actually be even trickier than the square, because the inconjunct aspect is not as straight up as the square. It's not like in your face. It's like this underlying tension could go on for a while, and you could have two people really unhappy in a relationship, being unhappy for a while before they're able to verbalize it or even understand why they feel that way. So yeah, it's tricky. But if you have something like, for example, in my chart, I have like a yod to moon, right? So my moon natally is inconjunct to my Saturn and Neptune. So if someone is going to have moon quincunx moon to me, they're going to have either moon conjunct to my Saturn or Neptune. So if you've already got something like that going on, like these kind of other aspects can sort of mitigate this, that it's like there is other similarity going on. But yeah, so you have to personalize it to each chart. But like if this is like a standalone aspect, like this is the only aspect that you have to moon, that's not so great. So anyways, I'd love to know your experience of this synastry aspect. If you've had it, what was it like for you? And let me know in the comments, you guys, your experience of this aspect. Thank you for your requests, you guys. Keep those requests coming, and we'll talk soon. Okay.